Well, hello again, back with another video, and finally got this new Steelbook edition of the Amityville Horror. It's the classic 1979 movie based on the novel of the same name, which was supposedly based on a true story. I've got the novel right here. Always enjoyed this movie. Had it on DVD, a nice double disc edition, but this is the first ever Blu-ray edition of this movie in the UK. It's been out in the US for a while, but this is the first British Blu-ray edition in a steelbook format, so that's pretty interesting. Anyway, this is a very nice edition. That's why I figured I would upgrade from DVD. Contains a lot of nice bonus features. Some of them brand new, actually. Here's the back. Let's go through the bonus features real quick. Brolin Thunder, a new interview with actor James Brolin. Child's Play, a new interview with actor Mino Pelusi. Am I saying that correctly? Pelusi? Sorry for butchering the name there. Amityville Scribe, a new interview with screenwriter Sandra Stern. The Devil in the Music, a new interview with soundtrack composer Lalo Schifrin. And this is a great one. My Amityville Horror, a feature-length documentary with Daniel Lutz. If you haven't seen that one, it's really fascinating. He is the real life child of the Lutzes, and he claims that everything that happened in that house was real. It was all supernatural. I think he's pretty much lying to himself. He's probably like, I don't know. He probably needs some serious help, but it's a really fascinating documentary if you haven't seen it before. For God's Sake, Get Out, featuring James Brolin and Margot Kidder. Intro by Dr. Hans Holzer, PhD in parapsychology, author of Murder in Amityville. Audio commentary by Dr. Hans Holzer. Original trailer, TV spots, radio spots. New optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. For reproduction, lobby card. It says lobby card art cards exclusive to Steelbook release. There were, I think, 2 documentaries about the real life case on the DVD that are not included here. But overall, I'd say this is still worth the upgrade because this is a pretty amazing release. They didn't just port over all the old stuff. They actually added a new whole slew of new great bonus features. So let's have a look at the actual Steelbook. This is the front of the Steelbook. It's, I want to say, slightly glossy. Or, well, it's sort of matte, but see it reflects the light there. There's the back. Spine, and we'll open this up. There's your disc and the art cards. There you go, the Lutzes. And you've got these lobby cards here. There you go. I've actually got a lot to say about this movie, so I've actually taken notes. I never take notes for videos, I just kind of improvise, but there was so much that I wanted to say about this movie that I actually took notes on it. I've read the book, I've been fascinated by this case. It's very, very interesting. They claimed that their house was haunted and they escaped after just 1 month of living there, which I found really, really fascinating. I don't believe that it was actually haunted, but it has led to a lot of interesting, a great movie, a great book, a great movie. And if you've seen The Conjuring 2, you may recognize this as the first house that they visit in that movie, the most famous haunted house in American history, pretty much. So that's a great, great scene in the opening of The Conjuring 2 when they're actually in the Amityville house. And that actually happened in real life. They were actually part of the research team that visited the house in Amityville. So there are 2 things about this movie that really surprised me, and they both came long after I'd already seen and enjoyed this. The first thing that surprised me is how many sequels this movie has. I think this movie has 12 or 13 sequels, at least. Something like that. It's crazy. I think there's even a new one this year, if I'm not mistaken. So they're still churning out sequels to this movie, which is nuts. I think I've only seen the first two, and a lot of people said that they really liked the second one, which is very interesting. It's kind of a weird movie, but it's pretty interesting, I guess. The other thing that surprised me about the Amityville Horror is the fact that some people don't like it. A lot of people said that they genuinely don't like this one. I've always enjoyed this. I always thought it was a good movie. It is on the cheesy side, though. It's not like the most serious, horrific horror movie. It's a bit cheesy. It's a bit campy at times. Like when George starts screaming, "I'm coming apart! For the love of God, I'm coming apart!" But I love that stuff. I think it's awesome. Like, that's part of the draw for me, basically. I think that's really cool. I think it's I don't know. It's got a very special tone and a very special feel to it. I think Stephen King even wrote in one of his novels, Danse Macabre. He wrote about horror movies and horror culture in general, and he was talking about this movie, and he said he felt this was a really weak horror movie, not very frightening. The most frightening thing in this movie, he said, was the fact that the house is breaking apart. It's a new homeowner's worst nightmare, because you've got leaking walls and broken toilets, and it's a really it's a financial nightmare. You can just see them. It's all about money, he said. You can see the money just pouring out of the walls. And there's even that scene where they misplace a bundle of money before the wedding, and it's like the most horrific thing ever. So he was pretty much on point. He was on the money, you might say, when he said that. And there's a lot of financial horrors in this movie, which is pretty funny. Also, in closing, I would like to just mention the fact that I think this is a good movie, but I also like the remake. To me, they're pretty much equal, almost. I mean, they're both good. None of them are great. But it's one of those movies, one of those rare occasions where I actually think that the remake and the original film are pretty much neck and neck. I like them both, but for very different reasons, I would say. This is a bit cheesier, a bit more easygoing, a bit more a product of its time, so to speak. Whereas the, I don't know, the remake might be a little scarier, a bit more intense, definitely gorier, for sure. But I like them both. I mean, I enjoy them both. They're both good, fun movies. Maybe I should try to watch all those freaking sequels at some point too. I did pop this disc in. Looks just fine to me. The picture quality is pretty solid. I think this is one of those movies that's never going to look amazing, if you know what I mean. It's just the way it was filmed, and like I said, a product of its time. But if you've had it on DVD, then yeah, I think this is a worthy upgrade. I mean, I paid for it, so I got this from Savi.com. It's from Second Sight Films. Brand new, beautiful UK Steelbook edition of the Amityville Horror. Alright, hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the future. Bye.